Hi folks, and welcome to this rather special Video on Frontier video. Now, ever since I started this channel, people have been waiting for this video. Now, before I get started on it, let me take you back. Let me tell you a wee story. First of all, I'm going to take you back to July of last year, 2011. Here we are. Oh, okay. No, still October 2012. But we've not even moved a day. It's Crevens. It's still October the 10th, 2012. That's not gone well. Never mind, forget that. Anyway, let me figuratively take you back to the aforementioned date. Now, on that date, I had just been made the NUS Scotland Disabled Students Officer in July 2010. However, I was going through a very, very bad depression phase. Of course, I'd just graduated from university, but to be honest, I really didn't care. Because I knew that had everything gone as well as I was hoping it would, that I could have probably done better. Now, that is through nobody's fault. I'm not blaming anyone, you know, because it wasn't for want of support. Because back at university, I had all the support that you could ever hope to get. I really did. And I mean that. You know, I wouldn't have come as far as I did had I not had that support. So, you know, I did appreciate it. However, here I was. And I would basically be spending most of my time in bed. And I would only get up when I was really hungry. And even then, I would get up to maybe order something. So, I was quite down. However, one night, I was browsing the internet and I decided to basically sate my interest, which was back in then, slight interest back in the day, for older computers. And, you know, I was wanting to do that by, well, looking at videos, seeing what people had to record about older machines. And, well, I found one of two things. The first thing I found was past episodes of a show called The Computer Chronicles, which I had a great time watching. The second thing I found, however, was several videos by a YouTube user called Road Geek. Now, these videos featured a lot of old computers, but also featured other things like Carolina Circle Mall and the escapades of a 1995 Honda Accord in maroon. Well, I would say it's maroon anyway. But mostly, it was old computers. And it was one particular brand of old computers that this YouTube user liked. Computers from 1994 to 97, made by Packard Bell. Packard Bell is still very much here today, where I stay, in Scotland. However, in America, Packard Bell is a name associated with the past. People in the United States look on Packard Bell as we might look on something like the BBC Micro or the Commodore 64 or the Atari ST or the Amiga or something like that. Anyway, in September 2011, this guy, along with a few of his friends, made a group. The original Packard Bell 90s Packard Bell and Retro Computer Society group, fan club page thing on Facebook. Now, unfortunately, this page is now long gone, and a lot of the members have dispersed to computer geeks. A few members have made friends, you know, and stay in touch that way. It's really quite nice, but unfortunately that group is long gone. Now, fortunately, while this group was still here, people were looking to buy old Packard Bells. Now, while I can log on to eBay and find any number of Packard Bells, they're not the sort of Packard Bells that we in the group were wanting on. No, the Packard Bells that people in the group were wanting were actually those ones from the mid-90s. To that end, a lot of links were posted from eBay.com in the United States. Now, one night, it was the night before I had to go down to Edinburgh to prepare for and speak in the Hardest Hit rally. I was browsing the web and I found a link to a Packard Bell. Well, I found a link to a couple. The first one didn't want to ship overseas, but the second one I put in an offer just as a joke, and it was accepted. Now, bearing in mind that I would have liked this machine, so I explained what had happened, and I asked the guy if he would be willing to ship the computer, and you're never going to believe this. Here it is. This is a Packard Bell Legend 406 CD. I bought it around about this time last year, and it arrived on November the 5th, 2011. And I did do a video of it when it arrived. Now, the original spec sticker is on here, although it is kind of covered by my VCR. In fact, this is just a 90s cabinet here, isn't it? It's got a Packard Bell from 1995, and on top of it there's a VCR from about the same age. I don't know what this tape is. Oh, it's some Only Fools and Horses taped off the telly. Oh. No, I stand corrected. There's a cassette already in there. So anyway, I got this machine. So, what's in it? Well, before I tell you what's in it, why don't we appreciate the design? This was made by a company called Frog Design. A lot of people might not know who Frog Design are, and quite frankly probably won't care, until I tell you that Frog Design were actually responsible for the original Apple Macintosh. Has that got you listening? Okay, good. Well, here is another Frog Design product. My Packard Bell. Now, unfortunately, during transit, this happened. The piece of plastic was still attached, but it was it had kind of snapped. I think me opening the case kind of snapped it the full way. But that was the total sum of the transit of this machine. And to be honest, I don't even know if it had been like that when it left the US. Personally, I'm not too bothered. Because yes, I would like this to be in absolute pristine condition, but, well, you can't wish for everything. And let's be honest about these things. This machine has not yellowed at all. It has actually worn its age really quite well. I think it's yellowed a bit here. But the camera can't see that because the light is kind of purple tinted. Anyway, let's have a look at what's in it. I'm not going to open the case because there's a pile of stuff on top of it, and for that reason I can't show you down the back, so I'm really sorry about that. However, in this machine, I can tell you that it is powered by a 75 MHz Intel Pentium. That is the original P5 based Pentium. That was originally backed up with 8 megs of RAM, which is quite mean if you're wanting to run Windows 95, which I did. So I found some RAM. So now it has 40 megabytes. Not bad. Added to that, originally there was an 850 megabyte hard disk. Again, pretty mean for running Windows 95. So I weaked out that and put in a 3.2 gigabyte Quantum Fireball. Now, with the help of my friend Road Geek, also known as Billy Core, he actually found me a BIOS upgrade for this motherboard so that I could actually install a hard disk over 2 gigabytes in this machine. So, Billy, thanks a lot for all of your help. Originally, there was a quad-speed CD-ROM drive in here. Now, that would have stayed. There was only one problem with that. The drive had broke, and I couldn't even fix it by cleaning the lens. So, originally, when I got this machine, I was that anxious to get it up and running. The only thing that I could get hold of was a drive out of PC World. And even then, it was it was the only IDE drive they had on sale at the time. And I don't even think they sell IDE drives anymore. It was a DVD-ROM. No, it was a DVD rewriter, and it was black. And it did the job. But there was a couple of problems with that. First off, it's completely inappropriate for the type of machine. Second off, it's black. Which I like black bezeled drives. It's just that this is not a black machine. And third off, it could not play audio discs. It just couldn't. So I got this Sony unit off of eBay. I can't mind how fast it is, but I believe it's a 20 or a 24 speed. And that's perfectly fine. Now, this machine does have a sound card, Aztec Washington, which also doubles up as a 14.4 kilobyte modem. So if I ever wanted to go online, I could do. In fact, now I'm in the living room, I could probably take it online. And I think I probably will. With Freola. Just to get that Packard Bell internet experience, as Billy Core would say. So yeah, I probably will do that. So yeah, look forward to a video of that. What else did this have in it? Cirrus Logic graphics. 1 megabyte. Not too much by today's standard, considering my main machine has got a gigabyte of video RAM, and that's considered lean. However, for MS-DOS games, this graphics card is more than enough. It also has PS2 mouse and keyboard ports, printer, and serial ports. So, it is a really good machine for what it was. And also feels very solid. So it's been waiting patiently for me, flying Windows screensaver. Now, I have installed drivers for a wireless keyboard and mouse, which is what I'm using here. Let me just flip the light back on. Please forgive me if that flashing has not done you any good. The mouse have not been able to get working. I'm just having a go at charging the batteries up. I found this on eBay, and I found it very hard to find this on eBay, because it seemed to be one of the only remaining PS2 mouse and keyboard sets that were wireless. And the reason I want it to be wireless is because this is a desk my main machine sits on. So basically what I've done is, this is a wireless keyboard, so this can be removed when it's not in use. And this monitor has dual inputs. So obviously when I'm wanting my main machine, there it is. But for now, let's switch it back to the Packard Bell. Now, I have the big black mouse pointer on here, and there's quite a few things installed. Accessories. For some reason there's Microsoft Word Viewer. This must come as part of the Packard Bell installation, because I don't remember installing this. Besides, I actually have Microsoft Office for Windows 95. How's about that? There is also Microsoft stuff. Microsoft applications. Microsoft Works for Windows 95. This was on our Compact Presario 2240. And yes, for those people who think the sidebar was new to Office 2002, also known as Office XP, it wasn't. Oh, and by the way, my speakers, they allow an iPod to be connected using a line-in cable. So I just disconnected that and connected one going from the Packard Bell. Also a lot of CD-ROMs on here. There's Action 3.0, which isn't a CD-ROM. This is basically, if you will, a presentation program. It's kind of like PowerPoint, but it's for home users. And I think you can tell which version of Windows it's been designed for, with the rounded buttons and what have you. But it's basically exactly like PowerPoint. There's also Cookbook, Crosswords, Family Health, Guinness World Records 1995, Home Project, Journeyman, Encarta 96, Millie Fitzwilliam's Mouse Catcher, My First Encyclopedia, The Pirate Who Wouldn't Wash, Reference Library Quick Bar, Ooh, quick bar. Could use a drink. A cup of tea, just in case anyone was wondering. Almanac, Silent Steel, Spider-Man, Cartoon Maker, and Tuneland. I've played most of those. My first encyclopedia is always a good one, I find. And then there's Packard Bell Utilities. Now, I would love to show you the system credentials, but unfortunately the files are on the original hard disk and they're wired into the original hard disk. Well, not wired in so much, it's kind of formatted on a very hidden partition. But what I can tell you is this machine was tested, and basically we all used to, you know, part of the former Packard Bell group, we all used to agree that that was when it was born, on July the 13th, 1995 at 5:13 p.m. Obviously, that would be 5:13 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, because this will have probably most likely been made in Sacramento in California. There's a few programs I've installed on here. WinRAR, of course I installed Microsoft Office. Virtual Springfield's also on here, as well as DK Multimedia, The Way Things Work, and Bullfrog's Theme Hospital. So let's do the acid test. Now I like Windows 95. Windows 95 is actually really quite good at playing DOS games. I have the more annoying sounds routed through the PC speaker, and the rest of the sound effects routed through the sound card. Good shot. Do you know what? I think I should play on a bigger screen more often. Oh, just in case anyone is wondering, my iMac was sold. This is not a decision I took lightly, but I needed the money. For some reason on this screen, DOS graphics look a wee bit... I don't know, they have lines going through them. I'm not sure if I like that. But then again, I guess I shouldn't complain. This is my monitor from work, and it is a very high resolution. Okay. So I've played Wolf, and it's played really quite well. So now I'm going to show you something else. First of all, I'm going to show you one of my all-time favourite versions of Encarta 96 Encyclopedia. And just for the record, I also have Encarta 2006 somewhere, which is absolutely fantastic, but won't run on this.
We must never forsake that faith, that human dream, that unshakable faith. You may have the courage to look up.
Very nice. So you have the usual encyclopedia. You can either do search on phrases, so find any article that includes the word, well, any word or includes to, or enter a search string, or you can actually just type the name of the article there. Now, or you can search by categories. Now, I was really into medicine when I was younger. So, basically, anytime I would come in here, first thing I'd look for, life science, medicine. And then I'd have all the articles relating to medicine. Of course, things have come a fair way since 1995-96. But you have different articles, and you can have larger text. Always good. And then there's media gallery. Now this basically shows you all the different media that's on the disc. So we can have a listen to something, listen to sound. This is the music of Egypt. Yes, and I can definitely tell the Asian influences in that. You've got different charts.
Wherever I am, there's always Pooh. There's always Pooh and me. Whatever I do, he wants to do. Where are you going today? Says Pooh. Well, that's very odd, 'cause I was too. Let's go together, says Pooh, says he. Let's go together, says Pooh.
And of course, you can't look at Encarta without a wee visit to the Mind Maze game. Let me see if I can turn it up a wee bit. Synthesized music on here is it's, there we go. On control. So basically, the object of this game is you've got to go through and try and answer questions to get to the centre of the maze. So I mean, here is I believe where you start, and that's. Hang on a minute. Let's have a think about this. One of the two. I think that's where you are, and that's where you want to end up. So let's have a look at life science. Plants and animals of the sea, from the high tide mark along the ocean, shore life, to the depths of the ocean. So marine life, freshwater life, marshland, or shore life. So I would say marine life. Correct! 39 points added to your score. And as you can see, I've advanced on the map. And I fear I've gone the wrong way. common name for a large, leafy, brown algae known as seaweed that grows along colder coastlines. Cravens? I'm gonna guess. Oh, jeez, oh. It's not good, is it? Oh, it's kelp. 48 points added to my score. So, that's a mind maze. I want to go now. Are you sure you want to exit? Aye, I do. Okay. Now, I did say I was going to show you the dual boot I had, so let's do that now. While I'm doing that, I'll get the Encarta CD out. Oh my goodness. I don't do too well not dropping things. So, at the moment I've partitioned the drive in two, and half holds when I've got about a gig dedicated to Windows 3.1 and MS-DOS, and 2 gigs for Windows 95. I feel a gig is probably more than enough for Windows 3.x. So, normally when you go into Windows for Workgroups 3.11, you generally have to type in the command WIN to get into it. However, this machine, the Packard Bell Windows installation, it puts that into the startup file automatically, which is really quite nice. Now, while here, I think I'm going to show you Navigator. It's exactly the same as the version in...
Welcome from Packard Bell. We offer you 2 computing environments to choose from, Packard Bell's Navigator or Microsoft Windows. You may also begin by taking a quick lesson on using the mouse.
I just double-clicked on you, man. I know how to use the mouse. Although I must say, the other day I was out putting cheese out for it and it didn't seem to eat it, so, you know, I put it in a panini instead, and panini. Actually, that... Did I buy mayonnaise or salad cream today? Anyway, Crevens, I think I bought the wrong one. Never mind. So this is Navigator. And what Navigator does is basically it uses the house metaphor to make it easier for people to use the computer. So here you start in the living room. Now, the living room has got lots of objects you can click on. So for example, you have the stereo, and you can click, if you hover over different bits of the stereo, you'll see that the different parts light up. If that's the amplifier, I wouldn't have minded being able to click on that and have the volume settings come up. But no, that happens if you click on either of the speakers. However, you can either click to access the CD-ROM player to play music. So, well, you do any of that, you've got, well, you have basically a thing called Audio Station that comes up. Now, I like programs like these. There was a few out there, and quite often you had rebadged versions of this program, Audio Station. Now, I like Audio Station because basically it looks like a 90s hi-fi. Digital audio transport. That is a wave player. You can record and play sounds. I don't have a microphone plugged in at the moment. My Packard Bell microphone actually is in the office now, connected to something that isn't a Packard Bell. Here's a MIDI player, so you can create a MIDI playlist. What I am going to do is play Canyon, because it's traditional. So I've added that, and if I press play, oh dear. See if I can. I've never liked the Windows 3.1 MIDI drivers. '95's FM synthesis sounds so much better. I mean, where's all the percussion? Where's it? Where's it going? Why isn't it here? Geese percussion. And then you've got a CD player. I think we're going to test that now. Let's just play a tiny excerpt from this. This is kind of a comedy thing. It's MC Pitman, and yeah, it's a bit of a kind of adult comedy thing. But the bit that I'm going to play isn't offensive. I'm not going to tell you the name of the album. Sorry if you already saw it. It takes a nation of... Basically, it begins in T and ends in S.
UK has its own thugs. Yeah. It has its own gangsters. They might not carry Uzis, but they're still quite a dangerous character. And MC Pittman gets that uneasy mixture between aspiring towards gangster, not quite being a gangster, and still being fairly thuggish.
So I'm going to stop that now before I get the copyright police. But I would say to you, if you do kind of like these comedy albums, it's basically a guy, you know, he's acting, basically the actor's, he's supposedly a coal miner from, I think, Rotherham, or somewhere like that, and he's got a brilliant kind of Yorkshire-style accent. It's absolutely amazing. If you like a laugh, if you like a laugh, and you like, you kind of like R&B music, well, parody of R&B music, get that album. Okay, so basically, you've got things to click on. You've got fax machine, speaker phase, and then register your Packard Bell, the task jumper. Basically this, I've never seen this before, obviously not been clicking enough. Basically you've got different tasks divided up. It's, you know, you've got different tasks divided up into different categories. You've got personal finances, personal data, games, home electronics, tutorials, business. So, guessing you double click on that. And you use Excel to write it. See, why didn't I think of that? I just use Word. Nugget of information. If this system was equipped with a TV tuner, there'd be a wee picture of a TV there instead of the framed photograph, and you could click on that and you could access the TV tuner functions of your machine. Now, you do have more than the living room. You also have this room. This is the info room, and this has got all your different ISPs, so you can access Prodigy, different bits of Prodigy, a wee movie on it, and internet mail, news groups, and explore the internet, and then there's AOL. Then you have the software room, and this has basically got all your software on a bookcase. Now you can tell what came with the machine because what came with the machine, you actually see pictures of the actual boxes. So here I've got Microsoft Money. No, don't want to save that. You've got Microsoft Works. No, don't want to save that either. Oh dear. Whereas, and then you've got Action, which I showed you in Windows 95, and then I've added a couple, but it's only basically showing a box with basically the program icon on it. It's a wee bit crude. It doesn't look too good stood next to all these what appear to be fully retail box copies of software, but just to show you it's starting. Microsoft Word 6.0. This also takes me back to school and that same teacher. He had Microsoft Word installed on his best computer, which for anyone who knows who I'm talking about, Temple Bank goers, you'd probably very few and far between. None of them will watch the video, but it was a computer closest to the window. Moving on. This installation has Encarta 95 on it, but I could install 96 if I wanted to. Then there's games, there's also Children's Corner, just other things like that. Okay, so let's navigate out of Navigator. And I'm going to show you now Workspace. Now this is an alternative shell if you don't like Navigator, but at the same time you don't like Program Manager, and I quite like Workspace. It has, basically, on the left, you've got a program-centric way of looking at things. However, it's still in categories, so you've got productivity, reference and learning, games, communications, accessories and utilities. And here you've got a more task-centric view. So you've got things like forms, personal documents, or business. And then you can click on any of these. So change of location and, it'll start a document. And I would like to inform you all that J. Wakefield Computers now trades from somewhere different. Now you also have Kid Space. Never been able to get out of this. Now this is for... Alright, quiet down.
Hello and welcome to Kid Space. This is the fun place to work and play. Keep your software in the bookcase. Put all your games and stuff on the shelves. The bottom drawer lets Mom and Dad organize the room. To start your software, drag things from the shelves to where I'm standing.
I can't do it.
Keep
I
all
can't
your
put it through the
files and
screen.
letters in the dresser drawers. Watch out for things flying around. Now, if you need more help, click on the big question mark with the mouse. Have fun.
Watch out for things flying around. So you've got examples of pictures, and you can change the scene. So we've landed. Oh my goodness, that's scary. So outer space or an uninhabited planet, which looks a wee bit like Earth, except it's got that other great big planet. Oh dear. And there's things in that you can actually click on, and you know, it kind of makes it fun for the kids. Or shut it. Or you can click on software things to start programs. So here's Paintbrush. I used to use this a lot at school. Much funness. You've got Microsoft Golf. I enjoyed this as well. And then of course you've got... Okay, so let me show you another piece of multimedia software. This is my first encyclopedia. And, well, it's an encyclopedia for kids by the good people at Knowledge Knowledge Adventure. So, now, how do we get about this? Multimedia applications, that's usually a good one. And... yeah, of course it's a different version to the one that came with this machine. All my discs are for a different Packard Bell. Never mind. You need at least 4 megabytes of physical memory in your computer. Oh well, numbnuts, I've got 40. Used to love that in Windows where the screen would go white. Because you knew it was just going to be exciting. Okay, that should be playing music. Any particular reason why it's not?
Welcome to my first encyclopedia. A magical place to learn and play.
It's a cool place to learn. A place where kids teach kids.
Stop trying to sell it! I've got the disc!
We're here to tell you everything you need to know about this special treat. Put your hand on the mouse like this.
Okay! Sorry about the lack of
If you
music.
want to climb the tree, just move your cursor up to the top of the screen.
Simple enough.
If you want to climb down, even all the way under the ground, move your cursor down to the bottom of the screen.
Thank you. Whee! This remind... Oh, you go right the way up to the top, I'll tell you. It reminds me of The Faraway Tree by Enid Blyton. That was a fantastic book.
What do we eat?
None of your business. Famous last words.
This is our secret tree kitchen.
Really?
Today it's my turn to cook.
What are you going to
Some things
cook?
in a kitchen can be really dangerous, but this make-believe kitchen is completely safe.
Thank you.
There's a lot of things to learn about food.
So what's Mushroom Haired Kid gonna cook? Mushrooms?
This is a place where you can learn more about what we
Oh look, I'm back in an apple
Click
Mac.
on the kid with the yellow question mark to ask a question. Then click on the kid with a light bulb to learn the answer.
Hang on, who's that? Is that Harry Potter without the scar? Look at that! Oh look, it's a boy who lived. It's a boy who lived inside the tree.
Where does chocolate come from?
The cupboard. The supermarket. The copy.
Chocolate comes from the cacao tree. People grind up the seed to make the cacao powder. It's very bitter, so they add sugar to it. Then they add milk or water to make chocolate. Yum.
Nummy nummy num. Tell me about it. I made a dark chocolate sauce. I was doing Come Dine With Me with doing our own version of Come Dine With Me with my ex and her friend, and they loved the dark chocolate sauce that I'd prepared, and I absolutely hated it.
What is an oven?
An oven is a device which my former German flatmate pronounced as an oven. In fact, to be honest, every German I've met has pronounced it oven.
An oven is a kind of box that we cook food in. We set an oven down to the temperature.
90s kitchen!
Then the
Look at
inside
that!
of the oven heats up to that temperature. Most stoves have ovens in them. Some ovens go right into the wall.
We actually
What kind
had
of oven do you have at your house?
a brilliant one.
How is bread different from soup?
Geez, really not too sure. But this is a computer, it's apparently supposed to be really clever. It'll tell me.
Bread and soup are both foods, but bread is dry and soup is wet. You make
don't
bread
know.
from flour and water. When you cook it, it gets big and fluffy. You make
Nice.
soup from water, vegetables, and sometimes meat. When you cook it, it stays very wet. I like to eat bread with my soup. Do you?
Aye.
Poison. A poison is something that can make you very, very sick. Some poisons can even kill you. When you see one of those faces on a bottle or can, stay away. It's poison.
Never seen that on a can of poison. Certainly not the guy with his tongue sticking out that looks like buck teeth. So basically, I think that basically means if I eat poison, a black skull will appear and I'll turn into a stereotypical redneck. So this is my first encyclopedia. Now I know I've been kidding on a lot, but I'm going to be honest, I do like this. Well, I love these sorts of programs, you know, I think they're absolutely brilliant. Very educational, and you know, it's a lot of fun for the kids. I mean, I've not seen many programs like this on the market today. But I mean, nowadays a lot of things are just done online, and to be honest, I don't know. I mean, I've tried some modern kids programs, and they just seem to be just really cheap, and they don't seem that exciting. You know, I mean, these programs, you load them up, and yeah, they probably didn't have a lot to them, but they really did seem very exciting back in the day. You know, even now, you know, I can tell that this is a quality product. You know, and I think it's absolutely, you know, I think it's brilliant.
This is a window. It's an open place in a wall that lets in light. Windows are usually made of glass, and you can open them. I've seen a lot of windows in buildings and cars, but I've never seen one in a tree before. Ah, but this is a special tree.
A window in a tree. So, this is the Packard Bell. I think what I'm going to do with it is just have a Windows 95 installation, and it is going to become my main DOS gaming machine. You know, it's in an area now where I can actually properly use it, because it's basically in the same place as my main workstation. So, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for actually taking the time, sitting down and watching it. And if you would like to subscribe, please do so. Instructions on how to do so will follow. And I would like to extend a special thanks to Billy Carr, who has helped me loads with this machine and setting it up and what have you. Well, certainly the dual boot, I was finding it difficult to get that done, which is quite odd because, I mean, I'm normally able to do dual boots. But, you know, there was a few tips that I had shared with me that are Packard Bell specific. Things such as, like, being able to get a hold of the BIOS update for this machine, which, I mean, given this machine's age, is not as simple as you would probably believe. Also, there's videos on how to overclock one of these, should I have wanted to do it. This is on Road Geek's channel, www.youtube.com/roadgeek. However, mine's not going to be overclocked. Mine is sticking to the original 75 megahertz, because I'm that boring. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you will look out for my next videos. And on that note, I'm going to actually click on File and Exit Windows. Oh dear. That wasn't supposed to happen. Yeah, I definitely feel that this needs reformatted. Oh dear. Some things went horribly, horribly wrong. Okay. You may now safely shut down your Packard Bell computer. To return to Navigator, type Win and press the return button. I like how Packard Bell have kind of put wee things like this in order to make the machines easier to use. Do you know, as a system builder, I draw from what they've done in the past. You know, and I do certain things to make the computers easy to use. For example, renaming icons on the desktop. I mean, it's like a first-time computer user, if they were going to go online, they would not know to double-click on the Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox icon, because that doesn't exactly say, get on the internet. And the first time I ever saw Adobe Acrobat Reader, I used to think it was a program. I used to think it was a gymnastics game. Reader, I don't know where that comes into it, but Acrobat, well, I think you can understand. So now, to shut down this computer, to go to my main machine, right on cue, and to edit this video. Thank you very much for watching.